Ladies and gentlemen, we at the Speedway Review would like to take a moment to recognize the life and the career of Coy Gibbs. Please join us in a moment of silence to remember Coy Gibbs.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hang it on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Speedway Review. My name is Chris Burns. With me, as always, is the stat boy, Corey Huffnagel.
What up?
We have the producer extraordinaire in the dark because he's on the run from the law, Jordan Balasico. And, of course, the medium show, Booker T. Calhoun himself, Big T, Tori Calhoun. What up, what up? Once again, we tried this a little while ago, and now we're going to do it again. I'm going to say the same thing I said earlier. The death of Coy Gibbs kind of hit me in a really difficult place because you look at his line right there on the screen. Coy Gibbs is about a month and a half younger than I am. And, you know, for that guy to have the highest of high on Saturday to celebrate an Xfinity championship with his son to passing away in his sleep, just it makes me realize my own mortality. But then again, I've told people all my life, the only thing that's going to kill me is me. So I feel bad for the Gibbs family, starting with Coach Gibbs, the owner of JGR, his wife, his son, and everybody involved in JGR, because Coy Gibbs really was the linchpin, other than Coach, for that organization. Coy made that team a monster. And I remember him putting his toe in the water and dabbling a little bit with racing, with whether it's the Truck Series, the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series. Coy tried, but Coy realized that his strength was behind the scenes. So around the room, starting with Corey, a little bit of memory for Coy Gibbs.
All right, so the only fond memory that I have with him, so if you actually look at his Truck Series stats, well, actually NASCAR stats wise, so he actually did run a couple Truck Series races in his career. And of course, one of the races that I remember, and I didn't really watch this until I got into the sport back in like 2005. So there's actually a video on YouTube right now where the Truck Series raced at South Boston, Virginia. And funny enough, Coy actually drove the 20 truck to a fourth place finish that day. And of course, was battling guys like Mike Bliss, and then of course Dennis Setzer, and I also probably hate to say this too, but Rick Crawford and so forth. And
why do you hate Rick Crawford?
Well, aside the fact that, look, we all know what he did, like years later, like
Good
after
point.
the
Good point.
truck series, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole and so forth.
Got you.
But if you look at his truck series stats as a whole, I mean, you look at this, for example, like career wise, he had 6 top fives, 21 top 10 finishes. And of course, his best finish overall in 2002 was pretty much third twice. So I think if you look at it, I think maybe Coy could have won maybe one race in the truck series, but, just building, the Joe Gibbs Racing from the ground up to where it is now. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I will say that, they are a great team. And of course, they've won multiple championships, Daytona 500s and all. But it is but it did really hit the team hard. And, we're all, and obviously, of course, the team's going to miss him. And it was a huge, huge loss for that team on Sunday.
Absolutely. Jordan, your thoughts? Jordan.
There it is.
I miss that so much.
I love that. Hey!
Please welcome our guest du jour, second time on the show. Please welcome from, let's see, Fox Sports FS1, wherever you saw NASCAR commentary, you saw that face right there. Please welcome Mr. John Roberts.
Yay!
So you know what, for an old guy, the things that are frustrating, first of all, is traffic.
So,
Right.
I know it.
So we're just stuck in traffic. We're just seeing brake lights, so we're stuck in traffic. And then I get home and I start, I just start plugging in things that I think I know what's going on, and just saying, error, try Google or try this, that. But you know what? Even an old fat guy can figure out a computer.
Right here. All good?
Yep.
You know what, Jordan? I'm skipping over you. We're going to go straight to John Roberts. Memories of Coy Gibbs, if you would, please.
Man, guys, this is kind of a tough one. I did not know Coy as well as I knew JD. JD went to a rival high school in DC, in the suburbs of DC. So I knew JD in high school, and I knew he had a little brother, but we didn't know. I didn't know Coy as well as I knew JD. But grew up with the Gibbs family, because some of the guys that lived in our neighborhood were the Pettibones and the Bethards. If you guys remember those names, they were general manager and coach of the Skins, and they played football at my high school with me, so we knew them really well. So again, I did not know Coy as well as I knew JD. But I just know that he was a driving force behind what was going on the race team. And again, guys, I just really can't fathom, because I consider Joe Gibbs a friend. I've known him again, since the early '80s, and how one guy could lose both his sons like that, and both in somewhat mysterious ways. So don't really know exactly what happened to Coy. Cannot believe you can go through the highs of highs and lows of lows like that. But I think it just tells us, guys, enjoy every day.
Yep.
Absolutely. And we had mentioned it before that Coy had dipped his toe in the racing world with the trucks and other series, but in my opinion, his wheelhouse was really behind the scenes. I think Coy was definitely someone who put JGR on the map as a team, and I'd like to get your opinion on it. Being behind the scenes, how integral was Coy Gibbs to JGR?
Oh, absolutely, 100% integral. Now, remember, Coy was somewhat the driving force behind a couple of different things. JD, well, first of all, what's kind of interesting, again, a behind the scenes look, Joe was, I'm going to say is a great daddy. JD wanted to go NASCAR racing. Coy wanted to be involved in football. So one of the reasons that Joe got back into football at the time he did, remember there was remember the joke was, he had to go back coaching again to afford Tony Stewart's contract. But part of the reason that he went back to coaching was to give Coy that avenue to be involved with the Skins. He was offensive quality control. What was his title with the Skins? And then when that whole thing kind of went south, Coy, then before that, Coy drove the truck. Coy spearheaded the drag racing thing for Joe Gibbs. Remember, Gibbs was involved in drag racing for quite some time. And then they had Joe Gibbs Performance Parts. Well, Coy was pretty much spearheaded the Joe Gibbs Performance Parts thing, which nowadays, these big teams right now, guys, it's kind of interesting. It's not really highly publicized, but it's really interesting how these big race teams right now, most specifically Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs, they're taking the guys that they had on staff that used to fabricate and build stuff that you can no longer build, and they're farming them out towards other things. Joe Gibbs and Hendrick Motorsports are involved in businesses right now that have absolutely zero to do with racing. And although Coy was very big in the racing part of it, though, he also helped along the way with Gibbs being involved in the performance parts and the other business areas that racing didn't really have that much to do with. But again, I just can't really fathom what it's like, for a guy to lose both your sons. And, no matter what it is to an organization, JD, Coy, or whoever it is, when you have somebody that integral to the whole thing, I really think that it's going to affect the business. Another guy we went to high school with, is Dave Alpern. And Alpern kind of took over as president after JD passed away on the NASCAR side of things. He assumed a big role there, but he's going to have to, I think, assume a lot bigger of a role now because his two cohorts, his two lifelong friends are now gone.
It's unfortunate. And as a father myself, I can't even imagine losing my child, let alone two. So, again, my heart goes out to Coach and, the entire organization. But for Coach himself, I mean, he's got to be racked right now with just agony, heartbreak. It's terrible.
It's unbelievable to think. And there's two silver linings in this thing. Of course, no one probably has stronger faith in the coach. And also, he's part of the NASCAR family. And I have never seen one of the first things I was a witness to, and again, showing age here, was when we lost Neil Bonnet at that practice session at Daytona.
Yep.
Just the way this whole organization. Hey, how come everybody has a beer but me?
Nothing like a championship weekend and celebrating with a championship beer, my friend.
Steve Austin's Broken Skull. Tori's got the Bud Light though there.
Yeah, well, Tori is on the lower end of the pay scale. We're going to leave him alone.
Jesus.
I did not know there was a Steve Austin beer, but anyway.
There's actually two. Check them out in your area. There's the American Lager and the IPA. I'm a fan of the American Lager. So
I like me, guys. I like me an IPA. There's no.
So do I.
No question about the IPA. But guys, the NASCAR family is amazing. The way they rally around people. The first time I witnessed that again was Neil Bonnet, and the day we lost Neil, and then again after that, the number of people that over the years, guys. I mean, we were around when we lost Kenny Irwin, Tony Roper, John Nemechek, and then Adam Petty, which was just devastating. I never have been, because we were pretty close to the Petty family then, and even closer now, just how tragic that whole thing was. But the silver lining is that, man, you got your immediate family, right? You got your blood relatives, but then this traveling circus that I've often told people about, because, I worked in the NFL, covering NFL and NBA for years. And the difference is that you got NFL guys on any given Sunday competing all over the country. NASCAR is the only professional sport where everybody competes at the same venue every weekend, and everybody's at the same place, and everybody stays in this motor coach lot. You go tooth and nail against each other, and sometimes the guys, they'll get on, they'll get in front of the cameras and in front of the microphones and kind of bust on each other, and say, I'm going to kick that guy's butt, but in the very end of it, they're all part of a very small fraternity of dudes, because you have, again, in the stick and ball sports, on any given weekend, you have hundreds of competitors. There's 39 or 36 of these people that are competing at NASCAR's top level. So it's a family organization, and fortunately, I have never had to lean on that family in a great way. When we lost my father, everybody kind of expects to lose their parents, and my dad was 82, but still, there was a great outreaching of people that were there, and everybody put their arm around you. So Joe has that going for him. He has his faith going for him, and he has a very huge family of people, not just from the NFL. My wife and I went to JD's memorial service, and the outpouring of love at that thing, guys, they filled up that entire arena at Davidson College, and with, I mean, boy, this who's who of NFL stars were there, but they were all there in support of Joe. Quite an amazing outpouring. So if there is that little silver lining, that's that.
Okay. The one thing you said in regard to NASCAR, and I'm really wanting to piggyback that point, is, unlike the other professional sports, you're always in one place at one time, everybody on the same weekend. If you're a Cup driver or an Xfinity driver or a Truck Series driver or even the ARCA Series, you're always in one place at one time. You're always rubbing elbows with somebody else. And what I saw is, love him or hate him, Ty Gibbs wins that championship, and we'll be talking about that in just a short period of time. And then the next day, the news comes out about Coy. Everybody forgot about the hatred, perceived or otherwise, about Ty Gibbs, and their heart went out to him and the entire family. That shows, beyond a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion, how different NASCAR is from every other sport or entertainment complex that you can think of.
Yeah, it is, guys, and you're exactly right on that. There was a great deal of hatred towards Ty, and I think what we kept saying, and what I kept saying when I was talking to guys, look, when you have the young phenom, right? Remember, everybody hated Brad Keselowski. Everybody hated Kyle Busch. Everybody hated Kurt Busch. Everybody hated this guy that drove the 3 car that did wreck people.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, I heard that guy. And so there was always that hatred for these guys coming up, because and Ty went about it a little bit the wrong way. He said, everybody said, well, Ty's compared himself to Jesus Christ. But what he was saying in that whole thing was saying, look, man, if I thank you. If I was not winning, no one would hate me. But the fact of the matter still exists, and I think that this goes really under the radar a lot. Everybody was jumping on Ty at first, saying, oh, well, he's Joe Gibbs' grandson, so he was born with a silver steering wheel in his hand. Guys, look, do you not think that Daniel Hemrick got a good car? Do you think like Joe Gibbs just gave Daniel Hemrick crap last year and gave his grandson something better? No, that they build the cars the same way, and your name can get you behind the wheel of a race car. Your looks can get you behind the wheel of a race car. Your daddy's coin can get you behind the wheel of a race car. But once you're out on that track, and guys, I tried to do the school car. I tried to do the petty school car. Look, those guys can do something we can't. And,
I've said that for years. If you think you can do better, go out and do better. Because I'm sick and tired, and these guys will tell you, of the internet community. Oh, well, so-and-so is this and so-and-so is that. Look, if you think you can do better, get out and do better. Oh, well, I run late models at my local Speedway. That's fantastic. Get out there. Get out there and beat Kyle Busch. Get out there and beat Kevin Harvick. Get out there and beat Ty Gibbs. Because if you can't, you're just another blowhard doing this.
Yeah, and also I thought Danica Patrick got a bad rap. Yes, okay, of course, there was pressure to get a female superstar in the sport.
Yeah.
There always has been, but again, and everybody said, "Well, look at what other people have done behind the wheel of that 10 car." Eric Almirola has won twice. Okay, maybe she didn't fare as well as Eric did in it, but you just can't take a female driver and put her in a cup car and have her, get a pole position, finish in the top 10 a couple times. We just couldn't do that. I mean, if my daddy, God rest his soul, had millions and billions of dollars and I wanted to be a race car driver, guys, I couldn't do it. I just simply couldn't do it. And you have to have that talent. But if you take a guy like Ty Gibbs and put him on the Daytona road course in his first Xfinity Series start on a road course, and he wins the thing, you can't deny the talent. That is, in my mind, harder than the oval. The road course, that is an incredible talent, no matter what his last name.
I'm going to have to defer to our friend Tori Calhoun, who has the smirk on his face just a minute ago, because you were talking good about Ty Gibbs getting in that car. That is the biggest Ty Gibbs fan ever in the history of ever.
Tori is?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Tori, how much of what John said resonated with you just now?
First of all, good afternoon. Depending on where you're at, Mr. Roberts. How you doing?
Hey, Tori, I got me Bud Light too.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Don't even worry about Chris Burns when he's drinking. It doesn't matter.
I go high end. I'm sorry. For the championship, I went high end. Every other weekend, Miller Lite. That's it.
Got you, brother.
But I honestly I actually had to go to my kitchen for like maybe the last part. But I totally agree though. Like it doesn't. You can have a $100 million car, but if you don't know how to handle and drive that car, if you don't have the talent to drive that car, that $100 million car is worth a used trade-in or something.
You're talking about what Darrell Waltrip said 100 years ago, where he said you can take a top driver and put him in a crap car and he'll finish great. You can put a crap driver in $1 million car and he'll still finish 35th.
Yeah.
It all depends on what talent you bring to the table.
Exactly.
Just in Tori's defense, the only time I've ever hated on Ty Gibbs was when he turned my boy Brennan effing Jones into the wall. I spent last week using every cuss word available and some that I made up myself. But that was it. Other than that, Ty Gibbs is a natural talent and he has what it takes going forward. And we all know he's going to the 18 next year.
Yeah.
He's going to do well, but do you think, John, that he has a target on his back going into the Cup Series with the way he's performed on the Xfinity Series, maybe sometimes being too aggressive?
Oh, I think so. But again, who didn't? Dale Earnhardt, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, everybody wanted to jump on these guys for being too aggressive. And I have always said, too, the name of the sport is NASCAR racing. It's not NASCAR put on the brakes because someone with more experience is in front of you. It's not NASCAR pull over for a dude with more money. It's not NASCAR I'm afraid to make anybody mad. It's NASCAR racing. Yep. And there's guys that had to overcome those things. But I will tell you one thing, that I don't know who didn't agree with that. That the Brandon Jones thing was a crap move. It was a bad move. Okay.
Yeah.
It looked really bad. And and here's the thing, guys, there's evidence out there. Ask Bubba Wallace. He said his steering line was broken.
Yeah.
Well, NASCAR looked at the steering line, so you can't say, okay, it wasn't.
Yeah, the telemetry said otherwise. We get it. I know.
It was fine. When Ty Gibbs goes to victory lane and the front of his hood is buckled up, gee, did you just pile drive somebody in front of you? You can't dispute that.
Right.
And then, he came back later. And again, the later apology, the apology 4 or 5 days later after, your team has said, look, what you did was crap. And then you come out and say, or Toyota comes and says, hey, we got to get in front of this. We got to apologize. That's a little bit disingenuous, I think. But again, this is, guys, when I was 20, we see these 18-year-old guys driving trucks and racing in the truck series and doing well. And then we see 20-year-olds, winning Xfinity Series races. I mean, I have scars that are 25 years old. And I will tell you right now, I was an idiot at still am, but at 18, 20 years old, boy, I was stupid, and I wasn't famous with $1 million, in my pocket. You get
Wait, you got $1 million?
Not now, but not at 20. But
I was going to say, guys, at Chris Burns 19 on Venmo, just send me some.
I'm typing now.
Thank you, John.
But guys, when you I worked with a dude, and I always remember this awesome guy. His name was Van Tate, and I worked with him in Savannah, Georgia. And Van was and he was not long for Savannah, Georgia. He was a good sportscaster. I knew he was going to leave, long before I did. And he was just a good guy. And we sat around a lot, talking a lot. And he was a tight end at University of New Mexico. And he said, look, man, he said, I was slightly above average athlete, got a full scholarship to a D1 college. But he said, man, when we talk to these guys, sometimes you got to understand, they're getting so coddled. They're getting so, he was like kind of a lower tier school, starting tight end and everything. But he said, man, there were people that did our laundry. There were people that did our homework. There were people that told us how great we were day in and day out. Our parents told us how great we were. Our brothers and sisters told us how great we were. And so these guys that are coming up, and they're 20 years old and they're winning NASCAR races. I mean, you guys seen it around the racetrack. There's people dropping at your feet, right? So you're the greatest thing in the world. I remember walking through Richard Childress Racing one time years ago with Kevin Harvick, and there were two ladies there that could have almost passed for my mother. And they started freaking out. I thought they were going to lose their minds, that they were just simply looking at Kevin Harvick.
My kind of ladies.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. But when you get coddled like that, and of course, when you're Ty Gibbs, you're not going to get treated normally. You're always going to get treated special. You're always going to get told how great you are. And a lot of these guys who have those problems, no one's ever told them no their entire life for anything. And so you get out there, you feel a little bit of a sense of entitlement. And so I think that's, you got to at least understand that, right, Tori? You got to understand that.
See, Tori gets all the love. I don't get it, but to piggyback your point, I do have to break.
Mr. Chris Burns, real quick. You hear Mr. Roberts? He's dropping pure wisdom.
Oh, absolutely.
Knowledge.
You and I get it.
These cats. Now, this is no disrespect to this gen or anything. Because if you know anything about human life, evolution takes place every day. So every generation will be better than the next, hopefully. But the deal is this right here. Every generation should not be coddled, just like what Mr. Roberts is saying. Like, dude, just because someone wins like one or two things, do not start acting like they're the next coming of sliced bread or something like that. Let their career progress.
There's a reason I have these initials tattooed to my forearm.
SDMF.
Strength, determination, merciless, forever. Go for what you want in life. Do not take no for an answer. If you get no, you move over here. You get no over here, you move over here. Keep pushing. And that's what I try to teach my daughter. And when my daughter was born, right across my forearm, she needs to know, and the kids need to know. And one of the things that, you mentioned, and Tori kind of shoveled right out in front of us is that some of these kids came up coddled to believe they're the greatest thing since an egg white omelet or a pepperoni pizza. And in the end of the day, there's 35 other vultures out there that want to take your spot.
Yeah.
Now you have to prove yourself. And with Ty Gibbs, and I know we've gone long on the Ty Gibbs thing, and I have to take a break in just a second, but with Ty Gibbs, he's shown he can do it, but he's also shown he's at times overly aggressive.
Yeah.
And he kind of put the target on his own back. It's not like anybody said, Ty Gibbs, let's go get him. No, he did that to himself. And I'm curious to see what goes on going forward when he sits in that 18 car on the Cup Series to see how many guys he may have pissed off last year are going to take out their aggression this coming year.
Yeah, and guys, remember, this is a tremendous talent in Ty Gibbs. But if I may quote the king, Richard Petty, who said the longest distance in NASCAR is the distance between the Xfinity Series garage and the Cup garage. It's
Amen to that.
Step, and not everybody makes it.
Corey, take over. Ask some questions. I'll be right back.
All righty. So I remember when I watched the Xfinity race on the Daytona road course, and the night when Ty Gibbs won in his debut, I kind of thought to myself, you know what? This is a kid that, we're going to have to keep our eyes on, this was last year and whatever and so forth. But I would probably say my favorite Ty Gibbs moment would have to be last year. And I remember when he won Watkins Glen, and I don't know if you remember this race, but this was the race where he beat not only the best road course guys, Allmendinger and Austin Cindric, but we just now goes to show you that, okay, so Ty can pretty much win like almost anywhere. And then you see him win on all the other tracks and everything else and so forth. But you go into this year, and to be honest, I really thought, and I actually did not pick Ty Gibbs to win the championship. I was hoping Noah Gragson was going to win the title, but you just look at the stats this year, and of course, Ty was pretty much good early in the season, but then right during the summertime when Junior Motorsports started, winning races with Gragson and Josh Berry and the Allgaiers and so forth, that's when I said, okay, I have a feeling that Junior Motorsports is definitely going to win the championship, whether if it's either Allgaier or Gragson and so forth. But then you go during, the playoffs and everything. So Gibbs ends up winning the race in Martinsville. Now, my point on the Martinsville race, yes, I do admit, it was a dumb move that Ty took out his teammate for the win. But the pissed off part of this version is that Ty actually, was advanced to the championship 4. So I'm thinking, okay, so if you're already advanced to the championship 4, why take out your teammate? It just doesn't make sense, But honestly, Ty Gibbs this season, again, he beat the Junior Motorsports Stranglehold, and of course, won the championship, by winning the race and so forth. Now, my biggest question is, okay, so how is he going to transition himself into the Cup Series from what he did in the Xfinity Series? And my other big question is, now that, if he does this aggression style in the Cup Series, a lot of the Cup guys are not going to take that.
Well, they're not. And also one thing about the move, right, about the time, you don't ever want to see team orders in NASCAR, right? You don't ever want to say somebody, well, I'm going to back off and let my teammate do this. I'm going to because my teammate deserves this. I'm going to, you always have to go for the win. And I understand that part of it. You don't want him racing anybody any differently just because it's his teammate. You're supposed to go as hard as you can for your sponsor, your owner. No matter, team orders have to go out the window when you hit the racetrack. But I think if it was, say, let's throw somebody else, Justin Allgaier, right?
Yeah.
If he drives over Justin Allgaier in the same way, there's still going to be a bunch of repercussions. There's still going to be a bunch of trouble. What, really exacerbated this whole thing was the fact that it was his teammate. And what kind of teammate are you to be doing that? So I think, what he really probably could have done, and again, what some of the drivers have talked about, something that's kind of beyond us, is that, when you're holding your car, right, and you're going around that corner, a driver says, they're going to have to back off somewhat or they're going to spin out. But the thing was that Ty went in there so hard and so fast that he kind of had no choice but to ram in the back of his teammate, ended up wrecking him. So now you wait. I mean, boy, you wait a little bit, right? And wait till you get that run and you go on the underside of him and you beat him like that. You're a hero, right? You're a hero, and you did, there might be a scuffle here. I mean, a frown here or there that says, hey, man, you should have been so aggressive. But wrecking somebody being aggressive is so different, and wrecking a teammate is so different on that. But again, you don't ever want to see team orders. You don't ever want to see somebody back off just because it's your teammate. Because, guys, look back at Daytona, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if Tyler Reddick could have passed Austin Dillon or not, right? In that last, he might have made a move and tried to have done it, but he also may have felt he didn't have the car quite to do it. And at the time, people said, oh, man, he kind of wimped out. And then other people said, oh, man, what a gentleman for allowing his teammate to win.
Right.
You don't want either one of those monikers on you. You don't want to be the person that let a teammate win. But then again, the points that Tyler Reddick would have had from Daytona would have advanced him when he got eliminated.
Exactly.
So he had to have looked back at that, and then he goes and wins, in the playoffs. So every point counts, every position counts on the racetrack. And I don't know, that's a fine line when you're racing.
I've had this argument with people over the years since it started as the chase for the championship and now the playoff system. Well, so-and-so should have gotten out of his way. He's a playoff driver. No, that guy is out there trying to make money just like the other guys. So if I am, and I'm just going to throw a name out here, like Cody Ware. If I'm Cody Ware, and wait, I got to do this one more time. If I'm Cody Ware.
Where?
Right there. And I'm running at 21st, and I'm in danger of going a lap down. And here comes, I don't know, Chase Elliott right behind me. I'm fighting for my position. I'm trying to stay on the lead lap, and I'm trying to make as much money as I can and trying to look good maybe next year if a sponsor or a team or somebody comes to look at me. Why should I move out of the way for Chase freaking Elliott? The answer is I shouldn't. I should be out there competing every single freaking lap. Now, if I'm Cody Ware and I'm 5 laps down, yes, I should move out of the way.
Yep.
But not if I'm fighting to stay on the lead lap. And that's something I see with the internet community is, oh, so-and-so should have got out of the way. No, screw you. He's out there to make money. Why should he move out of the way for the Golden Boy? And I'm not picking on Chase Elliott. I used him as an example.
Well, it's a good example.
Well, it's the one I hear all the time.
Yeah. You're supposed to get out of the way.
I don't care if it was Kevin Harvick. I don't care if it was William Byron. Why didn't you move out of his way? Because that's not my job. My job is to get out there, drive the car as fast as I can, and try to get to victory lane and make the most money humanly possible that I can this weekend. Moving out of the way, why don't I just go and play like mini golf as a profession? Seriously.
Or just, go where everybody gets a trophy. Yeah, this is competition.
That's my man right there.
I remember this subject came up, and this is, again, I hate to show my age, but Harvick was on a road course, and he was in the 29. I think Robbie Gordon was in the 7.
Wasn't it Sonoma?
I think I know what he's talking about.
Remember that? Okay. So Robbie Gordon's just trying not to go a lap down, and Kevin Harvick is on his butt. He wants him to, Kevin's saying, go get his sponsor. Tell him to move. He's racing me too hard. No, Robbie Gordon owes it to his sponsor, his owner, and his fans not to just pull over and let Kevin Harvick go by just because he's Harvick. I mean, it's that was one of those first examples I saw of somebody. And at the time, I said, man, more power to Robbie. You're not out there to pull away from the other guy. Because, again, it is not NASCAR move out of Harvick's way. It's not NASCAR move out of Chase Elliott's way. It's NASCAR racing is the term.
Abso-freaking-lutely. The Jackman is here. Jackson Stotts, welcome.
Yeah.
Hello. Thank you.
About time. How was the math homework? Is everything good?
You actually got the homework right. I was just finishing up some science stuff. So
Oh yeah, well, men are men and women are women. That's science. I got you an A right there. Anyway,
So
are we ready to talk about the weekend that was at Phoenix? Oh wait, Corey's got his hand up.
so John, I think that part you were just talking about there, if I remember correctly, I think that was Sonoma back in 2003, and that was at the time where before we had the whole if the caution's out, the field's frozen type of thing, and I kind of remember this, like, when Mike Joy was saying, like, now remember, we raced to the caution flag. And of course, I think that was part of the whole, like, gentleman's agreement, whatever it is. And that was when Robbie passed, Kevin Harvick, I think, for the lead or whatever it is and so forth. And
Yeah.
Daryl, and the best example from Daryl was when he said, oh, if I was Robbie Gordon, I was like, oh, I didn't know the caution was out. And
Exactly.
also at the insult, Robbie Gordon actually won the race that day, too. And also, he was in the 31 car for RCR as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, our resident savant, Corey Hoffnagel.
Thank you.
Tori, what do you got, bro? Unlock yourself.
Hey, John, don't let this guy right above you fool you, my friend. I have witnesses that will let you know that last year, before he even started an Xfinity Series car, did I not tell you guys he was going to win?
I did.
Did I not?
I gave you your props last week. Stop fishing for compliments.
Did I not say he was going to win it all in his first year or
Ladies
whatever?
and gentlemen, this is exactly why we can't have nice things on this show right here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But to answer a question earlier, honestly, I think he's going to mature as a driver, and I think that we could honestly see Ty winning the Cup Series within the next 5 years or less. That's just my personal opinion.
You know what, Tori? I'm going to do you one better. He goes up to the Cup Series starting in 2023. I say within the first 12 months, he's going to get himself this next season a Cup Series win. Absolutely. That's what I said.
I said the whole thing. The whole thing.
Oh, you say he's winning the championship?
In the next 5 years or less.
Well,
I need two things from you right now. The number to your meth dealer and how quickly he can get that stuff to my house, because you're losing your mind.
You said the same thing about him moving from the truck to Xfinity. I understand the gap. Truly, I understand the gap.
It's a big gap, but if you're ready, you're ready. And why wait? What's interesting is David Wilson from Toyota. He was the guy that made the point. And when he made the point, I thought, yeah, I mean, he's spot on that. There used to be something to be said for a driver to spend more time in the Xfinity Series, preparing yourself for the Cup Series. But nowadays, the Xfinity car is so different from the next generation car that David Wilson said there's no sense in waiting anymore. If you feel a dude's ready to go Cup racing, let him go Cup racing, give him some years there, get the experience there, and not, somewhat toil around in Xfinity when you're not getting the proper kind of experience.
Okay, so I guess my question would be, before we go into the weekend that was, which is, John, why we wanted you here. We love you, and you're giving us knowledge beyond belief. But when you look at a guy like AJ Allmendinger, who was brought up into the Cup, he didn't have a stellar career. He goes back to the Xfinity Series. He is unbelievable on the Xfinity Series. He's going to be full-time next year on Cup. I mean, does it really translate for everybody, or do you think there might be a learning curve for some people?
Well, guys, if you remember what happened with AJ, right?
Yeah.
AJ was up and coming, but he had he had a DUI incident,
right?
And he got busted on a drug test for Adderall.
Yep.
Which at the time he said he was unaware he was actually had taken. But the thing about AJ, and at that time he was racing for Roger Penske, and Penske said, "Look, I have no choice but to cut ties because of this issue. I got to move on. But let me tell you something." And when the captain speaks, you listen. Roger said of AJ, this is a great race car driver and a great dude. He will be back, but we just can't continue on with him right now. And I've got to say, what AJ did at the time was one of the reasons that I mean, I liked him before it, and I like him more now. There were other people at that very same time that were in very similar predicaments that hid from the media, stayed in their haulers, didn't talk to anybody. When AJ got back to the racetrack after both of his incidents, he stood at the back of his hauler and said, "Come talk to me. I will tell you I made a mistake. I will tell you what happened, and I will tell anybody who wants to listen as long as I can." And therefore, that's why he survived, hung around. I love his personality, but this is an extremely talented race car driver, and not just on the road courses. And he's found his home at college now. And I think that's fantastic that he has. But it just goes to show you guys that, everybody wants the next young phenom, right? Everybody wants the next Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, young guy, Joey Logano, that comes up with, the so-called silver steering wheel in his hands. But let's look at some other things that have gone on here. The comeback over the years of Martin Truex. Look how long it took Martin Truex 12 years to become an overnight sensation. AJ Allmendinger bounced back. Josh Berry's 32 years old and was a driver trainer at Junior Motorsports. There's opportunities if you stick with it, and it has to come together. And, we were talking a little bit with Tori a second ago, comparing the stick and ball sports to the drivers. Well, it's just, guys, it's just a plain matter of fact. If you are 6'5", 285 pounds, and you run a 4.640, colleges and the NFL are going to find you. They will find you, and you will get your opportunity. If you are a wheel man and you can wheel the heck out of a race car, or a wheel woman for that, you have to get discovered. You have to have your opportunity. You have to have your backing, and you have to dig at it for quite some time. I was amazed one time. We were doing a little thing for Home Depot and got a chance to sit for a while with Tony Stewart, shoot the bull with him. And Tony said, "Look, man, there's hundreds of drivers better than me." And I said, "Bull crap, dude. You are you're a champion in everything you drive." And he said, "There are hundreds of drivers that are better than me. Yep. They just didn't get their chance. I got my chance."
It's one of the things that I've always told the kids that I've coached in baseball is that you may be the best on this team, but there's someone on that team that's better than you. So you have to work harder. And if you get to be better than that person, there's someone in the next town that's better than you, and in the next state, and whatever. The minute you stop working is the minute you stop growing.
Exactly.
And with racing, and I'm going to give Ty Gibbs credit before we start talking about the weekend that was in the actual championship weekend. Ty Gibbs has grown up in this sport. I don't think the first steering wheel he ever held was in a truck or in an Xfinity car. He was probably doing go-karts, and John, you could probably answer this better than anybody else. He was probably doing go-karts or legend cars or modifieds. He worked his way up, and yes, did it help that Granddaddy owns a team? Yes, it certainly did. But his talent is showing week after week after week, and no matter how much I have a problem with him hitting Brandon Jones and knocking my boy out of the playoffs, I'm trying to get over it. You keep digging at me.
You know what? I got something to say too when you're done, Chris.
Ty Gibbs has the talent. Go ahead, Jordan.
So to burn off what John said about AJ Allmendinger, the dude came from Champ Car, IndyCar, up to NASCAR. That's phenomenal. Gets to spin up NASCAR, goes down and almost wins the damn Indianapolis 500. And then he comes back and shows that he can race no matter if he's in an open wheel or a stock car. He is a racer's racer. Hell, he's even won the Rolex 24 in a sports car. No matter what car you put him in, he's going to win because he's just that damn good. So I'm looking forward to seeing AJ back full time next year.
Absolutely.
Oh man, I think it's great, but also I love Matt Collick, I love Chris Rice. Those guys are great, and they're nurturing an environment. They're nurturing a culture around Collick racing that they're going to get the best people they can get a hold of. They're going to take care of their people, and they're going to put their best foot forward, no matter how they are, no matter what's going on, good or bad. And that's why they're trophy hunters. That's why they're out there. And I think that's going to be really. And Justin Haley might really be one of those guys that surprises us again. Hasn't lit the world on fire. One victory came because of lightning. We all know that.
Yeah.
But he still, was out front. Yeah, that's a Cup Series win. But Justin Haley may really blossom as well. And Justin being with that group is going to get the opportunity. They're not going to so quickly. And I think that's something else that's been a little bit different recently. Remember how quickly, guys, that if somebody came up, and there's certain names but the one that always comes to my mind is Casey Atwood. I mean, what they give Casey Atwood less than a season before everybody was blowing him out. I think it just takes a little bit of time, and I hate that. Also, again, in the stick and ball sports, how quickly a coach gets run out. It takes a little bit of time. I mean, what if they ran off Mike Krzyzewski when they wanted to? What if they ran off Dean Smith when they wanted to, when it didn't start out blazing? And again, what if we ran off Martin Truex Jr. when he didn't start off as good? This is a two-time Xfinity Series champion, or I guess he was a Busch Series champion in his day. But he didn't start. He didn't light the world on fire. It took a long time for him to win with DEI. And then, DEI does what DEI does, and then he gets involved in that, my arms itch at Richmond thing, and then gets the short end of that stick, but then goes on to be a champion.
And to piggyback your point, when you play next to Hall of Famers, you're always going to be looked at a little differently. It's easy to be Derek Jeter. It's not easy to be Aaron Boone. It's easy to be Patrick Mahomes. It's not easy to be fill in the name of whatever receiver he's got now. I know Kansas City is sucking the hard one right now, but when you sit in a seat in a NASCAR team, much like Rusty Wallace had Jeremy Mayfield, nobody looked at Jeremy Mayfield, although talented as hell, as he's as good or could be Rusty Wallace. He was always looked at as less than. So when you have that dynamic and you have, say, I don't know, I'll point to Jeff Gordon. There's only so many Jimmy Johnsons in the world that'll come up and match you. But then how many guys did Hendrick go through over the years in the Gordon Johnson era that fell flat?
Yeah, that didn't quite pan out. And again, you also have to take into consideration it's not simply just that driver. You have to have everything come together right, and you have to temper. But I think people also know by the same one of the greatest examples I think that's out there is and what Rick Hendrick can see in talent of a driver. No one necessarily at the time wanted Alex Bowman to drive that car. When Alex Bowman was around and kind of filling in, all they were doing was trying to get Eric Jones away from Toyota. They were trying to get Matt Kenseth. And apparently Matt Kenseth and Jones were way up the food chain with Hendrick. It just didn't work out. And then finally
Rick worked out.
Yeah, it says Rick said, I'm tired of trying to chase you guys. I'm going to give this guy a chance because I know what he has done over the years in lesser equipment. Let's give him this good car and see what he can do. And look what that turned out. Here's a championship contender year after year and a guy who wins races.
Right. And I like Alex Bowman as a driver. Good point that you made. Again, when you're playing in a field full of Hall of Famers, you really need to temper, and I've said this about Bubba last year. This year, I'm a little soured on Bubba, but that goes back to the Larson incident. But I still think Bubba has the drive, the will, and the ability to get up there. But You can't look at a guy like Cody Ware or Corey LaJoy or somebody who has the skill and desire, who, when given the opportunity, is up front, but they're not up front all the time. Those people are looked at as less than, but everybody starts somewhere. And
yeah,
I think
absolutely. Yeah, you have to, and also I like the fact that that we're giving Bubba a little bit more time. Than he's got the long-term contract or long-term in terms of what we're talking about right now. It used to be, I mean, for so long. I mean, shoot, even Brad Keselowski with Penske was doing 1-year contracts, and so now to have now a couple years in NASCAR is a long-term contract, and so you got to give somebody a little bit of time. And yeah, again, look at what is on Bubba's shoulders. Not just being a Cup driver. There's a lot there. You're racing for Michael Jordan. You're racing for Denny Hamlin. Your expectations are higher than many others. Everybody knows what kind of coin you're getting because of the sponsorship you're bringing in. There's a lot of extra pressure there, and a lot of the guys that are really close with Bubba on the circuit have said that, and they have said, "Look, you got to understand, he's got a little bit more pressure than anybody else." And yeah, as a professional, you're supposed to handle that, but then again, you got to give him some time. And again, when you give a driver time to mature and to do what he can, and guys, remember. Let's not forget, Jeff Gordon wrecked more cars than the Dukes of Hazzard his rookie year. He didn't light the world on fire, and he's one of the greatest ever, a 4-time champion, and now helping run a race team. Patience in professional sports had just gone out the window for so long. And Tori, what do you got there? Burrito?
he's doing food porn again. This is horse shit on a stick.
Man, that looks good.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna call an audible right here. I had 3 questions that I wanted to ask at the back end of the show with you, John.
Okay.
But we're gonna start with you. We're gonna go counterclockwise. You're gonna start. Jackson's gonna go second, around to Jordan, Corey, myself, and Tori's gonna be the main event. Before we go into the weekend that was, the first question: you can pick any of the 3 top racing series in NASCAR. The biggest surprise driver of 2022.
Well,
and just for you, I ran upstairs and got a Miller Lite because
nice.
I don't want to feel like I'm top end.
Yeah, my Bud Light's gone.
Here, I got an extra Broken Skull right here. Come grab it.
So one big surprise driver out of the 3 top series.
Yep.
Biggest surprise. It's a toss-up, and I'm kind of just throwing this one out, but let's start with Tom Majeski.
Okay.
I don't think anybody at the beginning of the year was saying that guy was going to light the world on fire.
Other than Corey? No. Yes, Corey, I'm giving you props.
Majeski surprised me in a pleasant way.
Okay. Jackson, what do you got? Biggest surprise driver, top 3 series. You can pick one.
I'm gonna go with Josh Berry.
Wow, nice.
He really went at it this year.
All right, Jordan.
Here it comes.
Jordan.
I'm going to go with Melon Man Ross Chastain.
Okay, very good. Corey.
Hey, he sent it.
No, absolutely.
No, I'm gonna go with Jordan said. I'm gonna go with Chastain.
All right. I'm not one for breaking the rules, but I'm gonna break the rules here. I'm just gonna say Trackhouse, Chastain, and Suarez. I don't think anybody saw either of them coming. So with Chastain getting a couple wins and making the Final Four, and Suarez getting a win, I think, to me, Trackhouse is the surprise. And now Tori Calhoun is going to say Ty Gibbs, so we may as well just skip it. Tori.
What's up, brother? Honestly, what are we doing right now? I had took my Bluetooth off to deliver the food. What are we doing? Happy sad?
Nope, we're doing the biggest surprise driver of 2022.
Clear as I clear my throat yet again. I called it from the get go. I tried to tell you guys. No one wanted to listen to the guy with the long hair who works at a geek bar. Nah, he don't know what he's talking about. Then one dude during this season said I was a Ty Gibbs hater. Are you serious? No. But honestly, wasn't surprised. But hey man, you already know. Ty Gibbs winning it all, baby.
All right. Second question. The biggest disappointment driver of 2022.
I would not say. I would not say. Go.
Mr. John Roberts starts first.
Brad Keselowski.
Yeah.
Brad
Biggest
Keselowski.
disappointment.
I thought he was going to win.
Who?
Keselowski.
Brad Keselowski.
Okay. Jackson.
I'm gonna go with Colleague Racing Cup side all around.
Wow.
I thought we'd see more of like the Xfinity, type, domination from both Haley and AJ this year. AJ was pretty good on real courses this year, but where the hell was Haley at in the back? So
Understood.
I want to see more out of Colleague in the Cup side next year.
All right, fair enough. Jordan, biggest disappointment driver of 2022.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Really?
I would have loved to
Interesting.
see him win some races.
All right. Corey?
All right. I think I've probably thought about this one, but honestly, I'm going to go with Kyle Busch. I mean, the fact of the matter is he only won one cup race this year, but you just look at his performance all around. I mean, come on. The guy was running good, like in some of the races, and then there was some where, the 18 wasn't competitive at all. I mean, heck, we all saw what happened in the Southern 500 in September. We led literally most of the race, and then all of a sudden, 23 laps to go, his engine blows up.
Fair enough. Mine is going to be Sheldon Creed. This guy
Sheldon
came
Creed,
up to the Xfinity Series with all sorts of hullabaloo. He was the reigning and defending Truck Series champion, and he basically was a bucket of suck. So
Wow.
But he's learning, and in the latter portion of the season, he did really great. In the early portion, you guys heard me. I was just not impressed, and I love me some Sheldon Creed. So, Tori, who's the biggest disappointment of 2022?
Not so much as a disappointment, but I'm rolling with Haley only because she just got caught up in so many crashes and things. She would be doing good, and all of a sudden this happened, that happened, this happened. If she didn't have all those malfunctions, if you want to say it like that, I think she would have had a better season than she did. Not disappointment in her, but just how things panned out. That's it.
Fair enough. Last question.
Tori.
Uh-oh, here he comes.
Tori.
Why is the Ohio State Buckeye fan talking to me? They don't play anybody.
Oh, Jesus.
Y'all are not. Leave me alone. Anyway,
Sit down,
Haley
Seminole.
Deegan did have a bad year. However, she did lose her ride for next year. I expect to see her in Xfinity Series next year, kicking some ass in a stock car better than a truck.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, guys, let's also remember Jimmy Johnson didn't light the world on fire in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes moving up can be a really good thing.
Exactly. Final question. You cannot pick the champion for this. Who was the MVP driver of 2022 that did not win a championship? Any series, pick one.
Ross Chastain. I think Ross Chastain as a driver did more for the team than any other driver. I think as a driver brought the group up. I'm going with Ross for sure.
Absolutely. Jackson.
I am going to go with the Toyota driver. I'm going to say Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin had a fair season this year. He didn't, do the best. But I will say that his average finish this year was better than last year. So,
And this is why you're banned from the show.
and this is why you're a silly ass Harvick fan.
Well, yeah,
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh, he literally just went
I'm
there.
21 years on the job. How old are you? You're fired.
Chris, give him the line.
You're banned from the show.
Yeah.
Jordan, what do you got? Biggest, the MVP. Sorry, that is not a champion.
MVP that is not a champion. I am going to have to go with Justin Allgaier. Raced his ass off all season long and came up short this weekend, but Justin Allgaier is my MVP of 2022.
Awesome. Corey.
Well, surprisingly enough, I'm going to go with Joey's teammate. I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney. The fact that he didn't win a race all year. I mean, look at the stats that he put up, though. 12 top 5, 17 top 10 finishes. I mean, this was a team that I thought was going to win maybe one race, maybe multiple races this year. And the fact that if you guys watched the race at Phoenix this past Sunday, he had a good car to beat. Like, I'd probably say in the middle portion of the race, but then like during the other the race, you know, it looked like he was going to catch the 22 car, but Joey was really strong, like all day, like whatsoever and so forth. But aside the fact that Blaney won the BS All-Star race, whatever you call it, and of course, you know, and let me just say this for a fact. They should have gave Ryan Blaney $2 million for winning the race twice.
Oh,
that's
Jesus.
pretty. That's well. Just remember, you know, he was literally like 50 feet from crossing the start finish line. Then caution comes out, whatever it is, and so forth. But anyways, Blaney's my MVP pick, and I would not be surprised if this 12 team wins multiple races in 2023.
I'm going with John. When I wrote this question out, there was one name in my head. It was Ross Chastain. You go out with a new team. Nobody expects anything from you. You win a race, and then you make the championship 4 with that video game move at Martinsville. Right now,
which was awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Right now, the guy to watch next season is Ross Chastain. Tori, what do you got?
Believe it or not, I got Eric Amarillo, if I'm pronouncing it right.
We're doing this
Amarillo.
Almirola.
Amarillo. The only reason why
Armadillo
by morning.
you guys are hilarious. But the only reason why I picked him is because like he wasn't like necessarily all the time within the top 10, but he had actually quite a few good races this year. Though.
Fair enough. We've gone an hour talking to Mr. John Roberts, talking to all of us. We haven't even touched what happened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the top 10 other notables from the Truck Series. We're going to break down what we all thought, starting with John. Zane Smith won the race and the championship, coming in first. Ben Rhodes second. Chandler Smith was third. John Nemechek fourth. Stuart Friesen, go ahead, Corey, say it.
Stewie.
Yeah, exactly.
My man Stewie.
That's what I thought. Grant Enfinger sixth. Corey Heim seventh. Tanner Gray eighth.
Money, Brian.
Ninth.
You got my money, Brian?
Say again, what?
You got my money, Brian? Where's my money, Brian?
Rounded out.
You got my money?
10.
I'm
Shut up.
my...
Shut up. Other notables. Matt Crafton was 12th. Tyler Ankrum, 14th. Colby Howard, 15th. Taylor Gray, 17th. The dumbest name in NASCAR.
Yeah! Okay.
The dumbest name in NASCAR, who I refuse to say, finished in 18th. Ty Majeski, 20th. Matt DiBenedetto, 22nd. Austin Wayne Self, 24th. Going down the list, Johnny Sauter, 28th. Christian Eckes, 30th. Haley Deegan, 31st. Spencer Boyd, 33rd. And all the way down in the BJ McLeod position was Armani Williams. I thought it was a great race. Zane Smith, flashes of brilliance. He took the lead. He never gave it up. John, what did you see? And do you think that Zane is the man right now in the Truck Series?
Well, I mean, look at what he's done. 2 runner-up finishes, then a championship. Now he's coming back to defend that title again. Watch out. Zane, I think, is the real deal. I think this is a kid you're going to have to know that name for a long time now. But then again, the Truck Series is going to be interesting because 3 of the 4 guys that were in the championship 4 are coming back. So that's going to be really interesting. And also, I think the competition level in the truck series improves so much every year that I just absolutely love. I've always been a big fan of the trucks. I was really worried for a time that we would not have a truck series anymore because it was not profitable at all. It was very difficult to finance a truck. In comes the Ilmore engine, and we're got a level playing field. And all of a sudden, here we are talking about a very strong series. But yes, Zane Smith will be the man again. I can't see any other way.
All right, Jackson, hate to open up a wound, but your dad, God rest his soul, worked for the 17 of DGR. You're an avid fan of the truck series. What do you think of Zane Smith, and is he the man going forward?
Zane Smith, absolutely. He already got his foot in a cup car this year. And he didn't do bad. He didn't do good. It was his first ever time in a truck. I mean, he basically dominated, in my opinion. He won the season opener. He had such a strong truck all season. Zane is the type of guy where you have a bad race, he shrugs it off, goes the next week. And that showed all year. I believe that one race he had, Martinsville, that was rough. I mean, that was just flat out rough. But he bounced back, and he, I believe, got a top 5 the next week. So he's a guy that holds his momentum, doesn't let anybody stop him. And yeah, it was very, very sad to go back to Phoenix. But I was going to top off what you just said, Chris, at the very beginning. Yeah, it was pretty difficult to see Phoenix again. It really, really was.
John, if you don't know, and again, Jackson, please, if I'm stepping out of school, please let me know. Jackson's dad is Steven Stotts, who unfortunately lost his life in that truck accident with DGR earlier in this season.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry for your loss, sir. I did not know that.
It.
Yeah, Jackson is Jackson's been a great part of our family for the last couple of years, and here he is right now, and we appreciate everything he brings to us. And the fact that the championship races at Phoenix, it kind of opens up a wound, but at the same time, it's kind of healing in the same way. Would you agree, Jackson?
I would really agree, especially with the great run Taylor had. So that was pretty good to see.
Yeah, Taylor had a hell of a race, and now we have to go up to Jordan. So, what'd you think? Truck race this weekend.
I saw maybe 2 minutes of the race. That was it.
Well, then you're fired.
Other than that, no, it's not my fault. But anyway, I thought it was. I did put out the highlights, but I thought it was a fantastic race. I want to give a shout out to Taylor Gray for a great run. I will be reaching out to him tomorrow and Tanner tomorrow on Instagram about getting him either Motor Racing Weekly or the Speedway Review next year, courtesy of Jackson Stotts. But Zane Smith has a bright future ahead of him. I see maybe a year or two, he'll be up in the Cup. Maybe Cup, but I'll say for now, he stays in the trucks. But it was a hell of a season for him. Christian Eckes did an amazing job. Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes, Chris Burns did a fantastic job for being with us every Wednesday.
I'm just looking at the food porn that Tori's putting out there.
It's distracting me. That's why I'm messing up my words. But anyway. But
I know.
I say it was it. But I tell you what, though, I have to give the truck season a 10 out of 10. Every race this year was freaking amazing, no matter who won the race. Yes, I'm a Haley Deegan fan. Yes, she didn't win the race, but that's okay. But she still raced her ass off. If she's not in this season, if she's not in the trucks next year, Ty Majeski is my driver going forward. I don't care.
Ooh.
Oh, I do have an announcement.
What's your announcement?
For the Tricon Garage team. So you guys know how Ford Performance was a sponsor for Taylor Gray, right? On the truck. Well, now it's going to be TRD Development. That's going to be on that truck for 2020. 2023, excuse me. And Taylor Gray will be making his full-time debut at COTA, which is when he will be turning 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
Man,
Old
I got
enough to die.
Sweet.
Old enough to die for his country, not old enough to drink.
I got T-shirts that are 18. You know,
So do I.
one phenomenon, you guys got to look out for that I think might remember. Kurt Busch was one of the few guys was just lighting the world on fire in the Truck Series, and they just said, okay, too much talent here. He is going to bypass the Busch at the time series and go right to Cup. And now, again, with what people have been saying about the difference between this next generation race car and the Xfinity car, that you're not really getting that kind of experience. That's why, again, I think you look at Zane Smith. Zane Smith is not running select Xfinity Series races next year. He's running select Cup Series races. So if you're looking towards the future right there, here's a Truck Series regular that's not running Xfinity races, but running select Cup races. I think it tells you people right now are saying, okay, yeah, there's a certain developmental aspect of the Xfinity Series still, but there's also something to be said for bypassing that and getting your Cup experience right away in this next generation race car.
Agreed. Fantastic. You got anything, Corey?
So I was watching the race on Friday night, and of course, the fact of the matter is that the race had to start, and I will say this, had to start at 10 o'clock, which, of course, it was 10 o'clock here,
Yada, yada.
and of course, it was 8 o'clock in Phoenix, wherever it is, and so forth. But I would probably say this race in particular, I will say it was a great race, and of course, I am happy that Zane Smith won the championship. And to give the matter of fact that, last year when, he left, when Zane Smith got let go from GMS Racing, a lot of people, were speculating, saying, like, what ride is he going to get for next year? And of course, they were saying that, Zane made a lot of phone calls and a lot of text messages, whatever. And he got that one phone call, which, of course, that was Front Row Motorsports. But look at what this kid did this year. He won 4 races. Of course, I would probably say that he was somewhat of a good championship pick, but let's be honest, I didn't pick him to win the championship. But going into Phoenix on Friday, Zane pretty much did what he had to do. Swept both of the stages, ended up winning the race. And of course, there was at one time, where you had all 4 of the championship guys running close together. But thankfully, he held off Zane Smith and Chandler Smith and those guys to win the championship. And I got to say this, I would not be surprised if Zane repeats in 2023. But I will say, happy to see him winning the title, and it was really good for that team also.
But the only thing I'm going to say is I was the only one to pick Zane Smith to win the championship.
Yeah.
I rest my case. The prostitution rests.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought Tom Majeski had the momentum on his side. He was my pick, but that did not happen.
Well, since Tori doesn't watch the truck racing, we're going to move on to the Xfinity racing, where Tori is, in fact, 1,000% locked in because Ty Gibbs won the race and the championship. Your top 10 looks like this. Ty Gibbs came in first, Noah Gragson second, Justin Allgaier third, Landon Castle was fourth, AJ Allmendinger fifth, Sheldon Creed was sixth, Riley Herb seventh, Daniel Hemrick was eighth, Austin Hill was ninth, and Sammy Smith rounds out your top 10. Your other notables, Brandon Jones, who should have been in the top 4 if Ty Gibbs hadn't wrecked him in Martinsville like a punk, and I'm gonna keep saying this until Tori acknowledges me. Finished 11th. Josh Berry was 13th. Kyle Weatherman 14th. Jeb with a hard B was 16th. Alex LeBay 18th. Ryan Sieg was 20th. Kaz Grella 23rd. Myatt Snyder 25th. Jeremy Clements 27th. Wow, we're going down the list. BJ McLeod did not finish in the BJ McLeod position. He was actually 32nd. Anthony Alfredo 35th. Brandon Brown 37th. And all the way down in the BJ McLeod position was Dylan Bassett. I did not see Ty Gibbs winning this championship. I was actually shocked and amazed. But watching him run that race, I saw why he won the championship. So, John, starting with you, what did you think of the run that Ty Gibbs had?
Well, it's absolutely incredible, guys, what he was able to do, especially as a 20-year-old young man up against, he was the one out of the four that was by himself there. And the one thing that will resonate with me and will stick out with me is the racing at Phoenix in the Xfinity Series Championship race was absolutely second to none. The competition towards the front of the pack throughout the field, very, very respectful racing all the way till the end. And it's amazing. I thought that was an incredible show. And again, anybody who is saying right now that Phoenix shouldn't host the finale, I will debate you. I will disagree with you on that.
Absolutely, sir. 1000%. I'm with you.
That's the place.
Jordan, what'd you think of the Xfinity Championship race?
Noah Gragson should be champion. That's all I gotta say.
Jesus Christ. Corey, you're up.
All right, so I would probably say, this Xfinity Championship at Phoenix was fun to watch, and at a time, Justin Allgaier, I thought was going to be the one that was going to win the championship. Of course, the racing that I saw out of him, was fun to watch, and I'd probably say the racing in particular was great. Everybody was either on the dog leg or just trying to move every inch they can, on the racetrack and so forth. But I mean, I do want to admit, I did not pick Ty Gibbs to win the championship. I was hoping Noah Gragson was going to win the title, but then yet again, it was a good championship finish all around. And of course, for Ty, to beat out the junior motorsports guys, I thought that was incredible.
Absolutely. And as a guy who picked Gragson to win the championship myself, and I'm pretty sure all of us did except for one, and we'll get to him in a minute.
Oh, Jesus.
All of us picked Gragson. And to watch Ty and Noah battle for that lead and the respect they gave each other, going back to what John said, the respect they gave each other room. They race each other clean. I got to give it to Ty Gibbs. If I was wearing a hat, I would tip it. Good job on Ty Gibbs's part. And now comes the part where Tori absolutely goes ape crap on telling us how right he was. Tori, bring it on.
I will not continue to gloat or anything.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
Nah, because it's simply like this. To quote the great Ric Flair, when you're just that good, you're just that good.
Oh dear God, he went Ric Flair.
You dig what I'm saying? So I've been preaching all year. There's no reason for me saying anything. You guys have said it already for me.
Tori.
Fair enough.
Tori.
I gotta hear this.
What's up?
What
What's
Ty
up,
was
Buckeye?
doing, to beat the man, you gotta be the man.
Damn
no, it's
right.
to be the
Damn
man, you gotta beat the
You gotta
man.
be-
Listen to you.
Talk to him. Get him right, Chris. Get him
John,
right, Burns.
John, give it to me one more time.
Woo!
There you go. Woo!
I'm telling you, it is hard keeping these Gators down.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you,
Speaking of woo, in my home state, where I was just, I don't know how many hours ago it was, I was in Middletown, Connecticut. The champion was born and raised in Middletown, Connecticut. Joey Logano wins his second Cup Series championship. A very dominant performance by that 22 team. Wow, look at this. Sammy comes in with LOL. I'm guessing that's for John wooing or Tori wooing or somebody's wooing. I'm just going to, you know what? I'm going to leave it alone. As long as you say LOL, we're good. Just please clarify because we want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. John Roberts wants to know. Here's what I do know. Joey Logano, hell of a race. He's one of two guys last week that I said, if it's not Logano, it's going to be Harvick. Those are the desert dominators. Logano comes home, wins the race, wins the championship. John, when you look at this race, did you see Logano winning this championship pre-race? And maybe halfway through the race, did you say, nobody's going to beat him?
When it came down to this one, I didn't see anybody with any type of particular advantage before this one. My heart probably said Christopher Bell. My gut probably said Ross Chastain. But then again, you can't say when you're looking at Chase Elliott and Joey Logano as the other two competitors there. Now Chase Elliott had by far the lowest average finish in a round of 8 from anybody else. So you might have said, okay, maybe there's a little bit of disadvantage there for Chase because of what had gone on over the last couple of weeks. But then again, this is Chase Elliott and Hendrick Motorsports. There's no way you can write him off or give him a disadvantage in any way, shape, or form. But the fact of the matter is, I had no clue, no preference. No prediction. I had a preference. I was kind of leaning towards Christopher Bell for obvious reasons. But that just didn't come, didn't come to fruition for him. But then again, that was anybody's ball game.
Understood. Jordan, going into that race, what did you see? Who did you think was going to walk away with that championship?
Well, me being a Penske guy now, Austin Cindric.
Here we go.
I'm getting there. I thought Logano had a better chance because he's more experienced than the other drivers, and he knows how to beat race under pressure. Guys like Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, and the other guy, forgot his name. Sorry, Cletus. It could have went down.
Cletus is coming on. I don't know if John wants to see Cletus, but Cletus has an announcement later tonight.
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
I don't know if John might want to go home and he's home already. John might want to go and say, "Hey, honey, I love you. Let's go to bed." No, you don't want to see Cletus. Cletus is
But
he was entertaining though.
Here we go.
But no, I honestly though, Chris, I'd say I saw Joe Logano winning it because he's more experienced than the other guys. Yep.
Okay. And you know what? I'll skip Corey and we'll get right back to him. I agree with you. Listen to me, Corey.
All right.
Just for a second.
Okay.
Last week when we previewed this race, I said this race for a winner was going to come down to either Logano or Harvick. These are the guys that do well at Phoenix. Obviously, Harvick just breaking the streak of most top 10 finishes at a particular track at Phoenix, 19. Jesus. We've seen what he can do at Phoenix, but then Logano has a couple of wins now with this one in the bag. You have to look at him as like the new desert dominator. He does well every time he goes there. Top 5, like he's going to be the one that breaks Harvick's record of the most top 10s, top 5s, whatever at Phoenix. I knew last weekend, and I said it, although I picked Chastain for my championship driver, I knew Logano was going to be a difference maker in this race.
Well,
now you can speak, Corey. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to make this one real quick. So
there's a surprise.
Yeah, other than Chase Elliott, not winning the championship. Sorry, Cletus. But anyways, so I kind of knew for a fact, Logano was going to win the championship. But the only thing that I was surprised at was Logano leading most of the race. I mean, come on, 188 out of like 312 laps and so forth. I mean, that's literally like championship written all over it. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, but here's the thing that I thought. For a fact, Logano's teammate was going to win the race. And then Logano was going to pretty much say, you know what? I don't have to win the race. As long as I stay where I'm at, I'm fine. I'm basically covered. I'm pretty much, out of, I'm leading out of the front 3, that are in the championship 4 and so forth. I mean, look at what happened with Will Power, when he won his second championship. I mean, he basically said the same thing. Look, I don't have to win the race to win the championship. I just have to run, wherever I'm running at. And depending on where everybody else finished, I can win the championship. I mean, comparing to when Will won his first championship, I mean, it was a lot different to compare it as now. But you just look at this championship race on Sunday, And yeah, basically it was pretty much championship written all over it for that 22 team. And of course, I will say, Logano pretty much came in with a statement saying, winning one championship was great, but now how about winning a second championship, which I thought, would be even better. But then this just goes to show you, what's going to happen in 2023. And I would not be surprised, if Logano repeats as champion. And let's be honest, I mean, we haven't seen a Cup driver, gone back to back, winning the championship, especially in this format. But to me, I wouldn't be surprised, if Logano, could be possibly the title favorite in 2023.
Absolutely.
He can start out as a favorite, guys, but let's remember that the surprises we saw throughout this year, it was interesting. When we started out, remember, everybody said the next gen car is going to be a field leveler. The usual suspects were winning the races at the beginning of the season, but the interesting thing was who was running top 5 and top 10, and then they eventually came up and got the wins for it. So. Man, all I can say, man, is buckle in, guys, because next year I think Noah Gragson is going to win. I think there's going to be other guys that are up there that I suspect are going to win. Tyler Reddick, I think, is going to be a winner. I think Kyle Busch is going to be a winner. With Richard Childress. So, yeah, get ready, guys.
I can't wait.
Give us your sleeper. Give us your sleeper.
Oh, that's a great question.
Sleeper for next year. Who's going to be
someone as of like right now is not expected to not even compete, but they will be a contender.
Cody Ware.
Jesus.
Where?
Where?
Right there.
Man, that's tough, guys. Does Tyler Reddick count? Or do we think he's?
I think because he's won a race that Tyler Reddick doesn't count, or won a couple races. So I think Tyler Reddick doesn't count.
Eric Jones?
I'll buy Eric Jones. He's moving. Is he moving?
No.
He's still with the same team.
I mean, he won already this year, but it was, pitch strategy that won that race. It wasn't exactly speed. So I'll buy John's pick.
Yeah, that's the best I can come on. I need more time on that one.
All right. Well, John, I know you're pressed for time. Thank you so much for joining us, and look forward.
Guys.
You know what? Maybe season preview with John Roberts.
Ooh,
absolutely. Hey,
I love that,
guys.
All right. Thank you so much.
Anytime, man.
Thank you, John.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Now, if you will excuse me, I have to go to the door.
Hold that thought, Chris.
Okay, go ahead. Please.
His country ass can wait. I have an announcement to make. About 2 weeks ago, John Vandal texted me saying that Noah Gragson was going to run the snowball derby. Well, 6 hours ago, Noah Gragson officially entered the 56th running of the snowball derby in January. So good luck to Noah, and let's see if he can't win it. And I am working on getting Noah on this show, courtesy of John Vandal himself, because they're really good friends.
Nice. And something that Jordan shared with me was the Benedetto family is taking an extended vacation. So Matty D might be pushed off till January. So let's all hope for the best. We got a lot of great stuff coming up between Jordan and myself that we're pushing for this show.
Most definitely. Guys,
so,
good at what y'all do.
So, before we get into the fantasy, what is that? Jeff Cook. Who's that? Who's
it's
Jeff
Cook?
From the band Alabama?
From the band Alabama, yep.
That's not
he
good.
Passed?
Good luck. Godspeed to him.
Yep. Yeah.
So, if you guys are new to the show, you may not know, we have a friend.
Here it comes.
Every now and again comes on, and
my dog.
He wants to say something.
Oh man, here he comes.
Don't let it rip, brother.
What I'm gonna do is I am gonna step aside, and I am gonna let this guy come on. and give his amazing announcement. So, ladies
All
and
right.
gentlemen, take a deep breath, grab your beverage. Please welcome Cletus.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
dirty son bitches,
My man.
ladies and gentlemen, and Huffnagel. I'm here to tell you one thing. After this weekend's racing, I am pissed off because I watched my main man, Chase Elliott, who I thought was my main man. My hat is all crooked. I don't even know what hell's going on.
It doesn't matter. You're fired up tonight, baby.
I am fired up. Good. Thank you, Mr. Torrey Calhoun, and thank you for the burritos you sent me last week. It was amazing. Thank you very much.
You know I got you. You know I got you, Cletus.
My sister wife loved them very much.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, I want to say, after Chase Elliott ran like a douchebag and he cut down on the Ross Chastain, I had to look at my sister wife and say, hey, we need a new driver because the Chase Elliott is a dirty driver. So I'm here to make a huge announcement. Going forward, are you listening, Corey Huffnagel?
I'm listening.
You look like you're about to lick a window and eat crayons.
I'm listening. I'm just saying to myself, like, oh shit, here it comes.
You ain't saying nothing to yourself. You ain't talking to yourself. You ain't doing nothing.
Shut up.
You and the cancer patient
Oh,
need to get together and do something because I ain't having it. As of today, me, the sister wife, my uncle cousin, and everybody else are now rooting for the Joey Logano. That's right.
Dude.
Joey Logano is the greatest race car driver of all time.
Oh, my God. Jesus.
Hell has frozen over.
Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, my God.
He's better than Jimmy Johnson. He's better than... Who's that boy that did the toothpaste gimmick? Oh, it was Jeff Gordon. He's better than Jeff Gordon? He's better than everybody.
Lord.
Joey Logano, greatest race car driver of all time. Y'all some bitches, kiss my ass. I'm out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have officially become a vegan.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am now going to go into rehab. What in the ever-loving shit did I just witness? What did I just witness?
Man, Cletus had a...
I don't have any Joey Logano stuff, man. Come on.
Bro, he has officially had a bad back of the hoop.
At least just say you can just name it, Dale Carr or Davey Carr or Ty Carr. I'm thinking to myself, like, geez, what did I just miss? Or what did I just witness? Oh my Lord.
That dude needs therapy. Jesus. Seriously.
I cannot believe he's going for Joey next year.
He has turned on us, man.
He's turned. No, Tori, I agree with you. He has turned on the fan base. He really has.
Damn,
and
Cletus.
I don't understand it. Cletus,
I was going to invite him to the barbecue.
He could be fun at the barbecue. He'd be like, Tori Barbecue, the greatest of all time. Now,
shit.
The moment that only one of us has been waiting for.
The world has been watching.
Here we go. I'm throwing a flag right here. We're going worst to first. Are you gentlemen ready?
I'm not.
Yes,
no, I'm just kidding. Just go.
Let's go, man. Let's get it over with.
Had the best week of any of us. Justin Haley brought you 10 points. William Byron, 39. Kyle Busch, 30. And Chase Briscoe, 48. For a weekly total of 127. Corey, your final total for the year, 33-24. You finished 367 in back of the champ.
Doesn't matter. I wasn't going to win anyway.
You know who could have won, but didn't? Jordan. Hell of a week for you, kind of. Denny Hamlin brought you 29 points. Ross Chastain 34. Eric Jones 23, and Ross Chastain 34. Your weekly total was 88. Your finishing total 35.68. You are 123 behind the champion. Now,
Not bad.
as I read the next column, should the champion die, or maybe there's creative differences and the show doesn't go on, should the champion not go on, the second runner-up has to take the mantle. Are you ready? Second place. Tori. Kyle Larson gave you 38 points. Chase Elliott gave you 9 points. Eric Almirola gave you 17 points. And Cole Custer 21 for a total of 20. Cole Custer gave you 21 for a total of 85 points. Your finishing total, 36.49. You finished 42 points behind the winner.
Sweet.
How the
And
hell?
the new
I'm not even mad at it.
heavyweight. No, you shouldn't be mad. This was a battle every single week since, I don't know, August. This was the best fantasy racing I've ever done. This has been fantastic. Joey Logano gave me 40 points. Kevin Harvick, 41. Tyler Reddick, 18. Daniel Suarez, 13 for a total of 112. My finishing total, 36.91. And the new, give me a second, hold on.
Hey, you guys
And
want to hear
the
something funny?
new World Heavyweight Champion. The only difference
SmackDown.
between Tori and myself is that I dumped one driver, and Tori never dumped. He took those 4 to the championship.
I'm gonna tell you
42
something. You're gonna laugh your ass off.
points.
Chris, you're gonna laugh your ass off. You ready to hear this?
Good.
When I tuned in to Sports Center Sunday and I saw Joey Logano won the whole shebang bang, I said to myself, well, fuck, there goes the championship.
I'm ridiculously, hilariously, amazingly glad that this was as competitive as it was, even with Jordan when he had to take the hiatus, and he's coming up the rankings. It's like, oh shit, Jordan's like within.
Jordan,
100.
you were so close, dude.
It was
These last few weeks.
It was unbelievable. He was within 100 points. He could have
Hey,
taken that at any time.
When we go off air, Chris, I gotta ask you who you bank with because I don't discuss that stuff on air. Because I'm gonna have to probably just send it.
I'm gonna send you a link. You're just gonna buy the shirt and send it to my address.
Nah, Tori, I don't buy nothing off the internet, bro.
Yeah, I'll give you my Venmo.
Nah.
It's all good.
I tell you, it's all good. I just get my employer to get him to buy it, and then I ship it to you. That's cool.
Fair. So, gentlemen,
What a fight! What a fight! What do you guys think is gonna happen? You guys think this is gonna be as tight next year?
oh, it's gonna be so good next year.
Mhm.
Especially now that the boys, other than you and I, Tori, know the rules and how to draft. Somebody's gonna take this title off my shoulder. Here we go.
You know that's
Gonna
the
be
SmackDown Women's title, right?
I don't care what it is. It's my daughter's belt, and I'm the champion. So shut up.
Oh, hilarious! You guys are crazy.
At least I'm not the tint or the hose champion.
Oh shit!
Touche.
That's right. Recognize.
I am
play
so
it.
done right now.
Look, guys, this was probably the best fantasy racing I've ever done with you guys, or at all. Like seriously, I've won. Next week, I'm gonna bring my trophy down that I won for like 6 years running. I'm gonna show it to you guys. It's called the Dropping the Hammer Championship. It was my longest running fantasy racing league, and when it went down, I was the reigning and defending champion, so I kept the trophy. So I'm gonna bring it down here, and I'm gonna show it to you. You think that what we do here is good? Maybe I will allow that championship to move to Ohio or Alabama. Not that Corey's ever going to win, but Massachusetts. This could be something that moves along. If Jackson wants to be part of this every week, maybe Jackson can win the championship. But
You guys
I'll
do realize when the championships comes to the South, they don't never leave, right?
championship's right here, and it stays here.
There it is. There it is, right there, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, baby. You gotta love it.
I didn't think going into August, and I'm going to say this out loud, and I don't like doing this. I didn't think in August I had a snowball's chance in hell, but my team came up big, and Tori's team kept up. We swapped the lead from August to today, week after week after week. It was like Tori, Chris. I'm just glad to stand here as your champion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm actually humbled. Thank you, Tori, for a hell of a fight.
You damn right. And next year is going to be even tougher.
All right. I look forward to it. And Jordan's on twice? What the hell happened,
Hold
Jordan?
on.
You're that egotistical? You have to be on twice?
Jordan got a twin brother you
know
know
it.
tells about?
My man wants to
Anyway,
just be
no,
on the
I
show
got something
twice.
to say.
Go ahead,
Uh-oh.
please.
Well, yeah, I'm the leader of this thing. But
What?
What do you
before,
got to say, bro?
hang on, give me a minute. Give me 2 minutes.
I'm giving you all the time you need, bro.
Chris, why do I feel like Roman Reigns' theme music should be playing right now?
Because you should acknowledge me.
What we got
Alright,
going on?
Tori,
I'm listening.
as you guys know, I run another show called World of Auto Racing Podcast, and we are going to be completely. The final show is coming up in a couple of weeks. Ever of that show, I'm launching a whole brand new show with Tori and a few other guys in the racing world, including some drivers themselves, with possible sponsorship of Trevor Moon. So I would like to make the announcement that coming January, beginning in January, brand new show featuring myself and Tori and Chris and Corey. If you guys want to be a part of it, there it is. Motor Racing.
Week. I'm with it.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and
coming in
gentlemen,
January.
you better believe that.
If there's something I can add, and I'm sure Corey is into all sorts of racing. I am the NASCAR guy. I love the NASCAR series. If I can add something to your show with NASCAR, I'm all for it. I can't talk
Absolutely.
about F1. I can't talk about like Baja, Gimmick, Schneebitz, Fernham. What I can talk about all day long, twice on Sunday, I could do this every single day about NASCAR. I am all for anything NASCAR. So please
Absolutely.
do not be offended that I don't talk about F1 or Indy or this and that and the third. I watch Indy twice a year. I watch F1 maybe twice a year. So I appreciate the offer. Thank you very much.
Hey, no problem. And I decided to go ahead and scrap the whole merger of World of Auto Racing and Speedway Review. Speedway Review is you and Corey's show. I want you guys to keep your tradition. I will relaunch my other one under Motor Racing Weekly, and I can maybe one day merge an episode with y'all show and have a double show with you guys. I'm all down for it.
Yeah,
I'm down for it.
fantastic.
So next year's going to be a fantastic year. Got a lot of plans. I've been reaching out to drivers. I will be reaching out to Venturini Motorsports because I'm going to get my Tony Bredinger interview at some point next year. I'm going to get Noah Gregson, continue to reach out, and anybody watching, when you guys watch it, I'll get that fixed out for next week. Anybody wants to come on the show, y'all can come on. We can talk about racing, whatever. Corey, you and I can talk about and bullshit about F1 all night long if you want.
All right. Oh, there he is again.
Right.
Uh-oh.
But this
You
guy's
better
not
invite
invited.
me, some bitches. I'm tired of just Mr. Tory giving me my props when Mr. Corey and Mr. Jordan think I'm some sort of deep woods, backwood, some bitch.
The fact that you're going to be rooting for Joey next year just literally boggles my mind.
It's Joey
Hey,
Carr.
it's okay.
Joey. Let me just say this: Joey Logano is not the next Dale Earnhardt. I'm sorry. Seriously,
You are the dumbest sumbitch I ever met.
Cletus, shut up. Just shut
quit.
your ass up. Shut up.
Quit.
Hey,
Y'all can do without me the whole
Shut up.
season next year.
Oh, shut
and
up.
Corey's gonna be like, "Oh, where's Cletus? Where's Cletus? Cletus ain't coming back. You're a sumbitch."
Oh man.
God damn.
So all of you know, and maybe Corey doesn't know this already.
Yeah.
Cletus is not a real person.
No, but the imitating part just makes me laugh. I just love that.
Yeah, buddy.
And many people do, and that's awesome. I'm glad. I actually got text messages this week. Is Cletus coming on the show? I'm like, you guys need to really get off my junk. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then today I figured it out. I'm like, oh, I know how to get Cletus on the show. Let's do it. So, guys, Cletus is not a real person. I'm sorry. Look, Jordan's laughing, but Cletus is not a real person.
Right.
I'm sorry. You should have seen Corey's face when I ducked into the other room Sunday at the championship race party, and I put on the hat and the shirt, and I was like, "Hey!" You thought Corey just hit the lottery for $40 billion. Like, oh my God, it's Cletus!
That's how excited I was when I got to see him for the second time in person.
It was the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I loved it too. It was awesome.
That was pretty cool, bro.
Oh my God, you guys roll me. Thank you for a great season, and obviously starting next week, our off season.
Yep.
We're gonna have some fun. We are really gonna have some fun. And John Vandal,
gonna be crazy.
John Vandal, if you're watching, you better do some good stuff while I'm not here. When I'm on a plane or getting off the plane or whatever, because if I have to join on at the last minute, not going to be good for anybody. It's really not going to be good.
No, I don't think we want to see that.
I'm going to lose my shit.
No,
Next
week we have.
Please do.
Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead.
Next week we have Shane Meal next week.
Very
to kick
nice.
off our off season.
From a very prominent racing family. Good stuff.
All I got to say is this right here, man. When it comes to professional sports, I always love the off season because anything can happen in the off season. So now that I'm rolling with you guys, I can't wait to see what this off season brings in the NASCAR or basically the motorsports world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I got a question real quick. We were talking about this particular driver either at the beginning of the season or during the off season when I first joined you guys. He did not run this year. Was it Ryan Newman?
Yeah,
Newman is still a free agent.
SRX. Yeah, he's running like bits and pieces. He's done. I don't think Ryan's going to do anything on the top three.
Speaking of Newman, I did reach out to the Ryan Newman camp, and we may get Newman on here before Daytona.
Wow.
Ooh,
are you serious?
Okay.
Tell Ryan Newman he shares a birthday with one
I
of
already
the
know you
co-hosts.
gotta go, bro.
Tell him, hey, my co-host Chris and you share a birthday, December 8th. Although I'm not going to be available that day because I'll be in Florida enjoying myself. Turning 50, however, Ryan Newman, as well as Kevin Harvick and I, share a birthday.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, brother.
Yeah, look it up.
You want to hear who shares a birthday with me?
Bob Backlund.
I wish. Check these list of characters out. You ready? Kevin Hart. Me and 50 Cent are born exactly 1 year apart. And this one right here, I'm actually kind of proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, I share a birthday with probably one of the greatest presidents in American history.
Bill Clinton.
W, baby. W.
Mm.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you W. Absolutely.
W. W, baby.
That's okay.
All right.
I share a birthday with well, who the hell was it?
You don't even know.
Oh, Barry Horowitz.
I interviewed Barry Horowitz once.
Oh, really?
I'll send you the link, Tori. You'll love it.
Okay, sweet.
My old producer kind of gave him shit, and Barry Horowitz told him where to go, and he basically stood down. Now I got to know, who does Jordan? Jordan, when's your birthday?
July 14th, and I share it with Conor McGregor.
July 14th. Wait, hold on. Conor McGregor, that's it?
I'm not done. Gerald Ford,
Yeah, whatever.
Jane Lynch.
Oh my God. Yeah, moving on.
There are some race car drivers. Don't know which ones. Hang on. Not done. Let's see. Who else? Matthew Fox.
Tim
who the
Hudson,
fuck that
great.
is.
Bubba Ray Dudley. Oh shit. Wow. Robin
Mhm.
Ventura, you share a birthday with. Wow. Let's see. Kyle Gass. If you don't know who Tenacious D is, look him up. Tommy Mottola. Ooh. Wow, you got a good birthday there, brother.
Mhm.
Wow, I'm looking at the gimmick right here. And that's about it.
Jamie Johnson, country singer.
Nobody cares.
You just
Nobody
said
cares.
you don't care, so that means you care.
Nope.
Who else?
Nobody cares. Oh, Harry Dean Stanton, great actor, by the way. You're not looking far enough back. Anyway, I'm done with playing the birthday game because Corey has a birthday, and I don't think anybody cool was born on his birthday.
Actually, speaking of which, my birthday is coming up on Monday,
What's the date?
14th.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking it up right now. November.
Oh, look who I share a birthday with. Chris.
You share a birthday with Joey Styles?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Dude, all right. Oh my God!
What?
No, that's what you have to do when you see Joey Styles. Oh my God! You guys are too young. Tori's
Yeah.
not. But the
Man,
rest
I know who Joey Styles is.
I
Hold
know
on, bro.
you do. They don't. They're too
Wow.
I do.
young. You kind of do. All right,
Hell,
November 14th. Let's see who's born
Hold on.
on
He's not. That's not important right
Corey's
now.
birthday. I don't see anybody really cool. Hold on.
Exactly.
Working
Chris,
on it.
look, I was at the Monday Night Raw where Joey Styles quit WWE and dropped that pipe bomb. I was there live and in person in Columbus, Ohio, May 1st, 2006. Greatest memory of my damn
Nice.
life.
That was good stuff. That was really good
Hell yeah,
stuff.
it was.
Speaking of which, I'm looking at Corey's birthday, and yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot of cool people. When I say, oh, DB Sweeney, actor, very nice. You got one. Let's see. Kurt Schilling. Well, never mind. Kurt Schilling was born on your birthday. Yeah, that's about it. Nobody else was born on Corey's birthday except Corey.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
All
let's
we can
close this
sign off
out.
now.
You guys, glad you joined us. Hope you guys enjoyed John Roberts. Hope Tori had a good time. Hope Jordan had a good time. I hope Corey had a good time. And I'm going to ask one time, don't dog the red sock. I will not dog the bloody sock. However, I will say to these three gentlemen, acknowledge me.
I'd rather acknowledge Roman Reigns.
I am the champion. Acknowledge me.
Let
Be
me call
good to
Sami Zayn. He
yourself.
may acknowledge you.
Sami Zayn will be a full-blown oos if I have anything to say about it. It's been a fun season, guys. I will be sending you links. Tori says he's going to send me a Venmo. That's fine by me. You two up top will get links. Send me my propers as the champion. And by the way, I am your champion. We'll see what happens next year. Guys, fantastic season. I love you. I'll see you next week.
All right.
All right, put it down, Jordan.
Still cash out.